Hello guys, we are back live. Welcome back to the Sports Doyen. This is the pre-match live for Chennai Super Kings versus Rajasthan Royals. It should be quite a wonderful game here at the Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai. The Wankhede Stadium that has given us so many interesting games over the last few days. It's given us high scoring games. It's given us low scoring games. It's given us absolutely everything that the stadium has to offer in those 4 or 5 pitches in the square. And sitting with me here today, rather, or on the show here with me today is Vipul, who is a little worried that what kind of pitch is going to be there. There is Nathan from Preston, who's had quite a difficult day to digest after the whole Super League thing, and with Rajasthan playing today, and with the 100 starting, and a lot of things that are happening in the footballing paradigm or in the sport paradigm in England. And then there is Jayan, who, like me, have no obligation as a fan towards this game, but we are here just to try to provide an extra bit of zest, extra bit of support to all our Indian players, to all the best players that are there in both of these teams. Support to Tala, or equal support to Sanju Samson and the rest of the Rajasthan and Chennai Super Kings clan. So starting with you first, Vipul, this is indeed a game where Chennai Super Kings could take one more win and possibly you know take a march on to the playoff spot already. I mean, because this will be important for them that they are able to get over the line, get a victory that puts them in a solid position early on.
Well, first of all, if you ask me what will be the result of this game, in one line, I would say whoever wins the toss wins the game. That's how the conditions have been in Mumbai. But again, I actually find it a bit disappointing because the team that loses the toss, first they have to bat in conditions which support swing for initial 4 or 5 overs, and then when it's your turn to bowl, there is a lot of dew, which makes it even more difficult. I mean, इतना सब कुछ है, so they can do one more thing. एक काम कर सकते हैं, जिस टीम ने टॉस जीता उसको एक एक्स्ट्रा फील्डर भी दे दो फिर वही बचा था. So yeah, I mean the conditions are too heavily in favor of the team that wins the toss, which I find it quite unfair. But I guess that's how cricket goes.
Yeah, cricket goes by the toss of the coin, is what apparently has happened quite a few times in the recent past. We have Ryan joining as well. Ryan, another CSK fan. He is Nathan's mate from England. So Ryan, coming to you, man. First of all, a good start of the season for you guys. Except for that one result that didn't go your way. Last match was pretty epic in itself. Deepak Chahar picking 4 wickets. I know how much hostility there is there between Ryan and Nathan. Just recently viewed it in the quiz as well. So, how eager are you, first of all, in beating your mate today? And as a CSK fan, how good are you looking at today?
I mean, it's an interesting team this year because there's a lot of changes that have happened, and I always thought maybe this year isn't going to be the year just because there's a lot of new players, and a team that has been quite predominantly, on the top. But I thought this year is going to be another year where they get teams back together because we've got some old players like Dwayne Bravo, and still, Dhoni as well. He's been a player who's been up there, but I think I was always questioning his ability to stay at the top all the time. But in terms of beating Nathan, that won't be giving me as much pleasure. So I just hope that we do something today and we get off to a good start. I think that's the key against them. I think we need to get off to a good start and then we should be okay.
Yes, I think as Vipul has said as well, I think toss will be crucial in this game, and there is this definite preference at the Wankhede Stadium for teams batting second. They tend to chase scores. We saw it yesterday. Probably Chennai Super Kings also did themselves, and I think there have been very few games at the Wankhede Stadium that chasing hasn't been the preference. Nathan, coming to you, obviously you've seen the farewell video of Ben Stokes. As if Ben Stokes was never going to come back for Rajasthan Royals ever. So a little too much to read into that. But how are you looking at this team now? Because we saw David Miller play a brilliant knock last time out. We saw how good potentially Chris Morris can be, and how good a value for money he can bring if he continues playing this way until the end of the season. But there are still some question marks on this team, aren't there? Nathan's on mute. Okay.
It'd be a good start to take myself off mute, wouldn't it? I'd say one thing about this team, they've got a never give up attitude. I think I gave it up both games, about over 10 of the chase, and then to come back, I'm a bit hasty, I think. So we've got the never die attitude. I'd like to remind you how I beat you at the quiz on Saturday. And you, Ryan. but I think Fizz bowled really well. I think we're sort of gelling. I think we're getting our better batting lineup order. Hopefully, with the ball as well, your Nugcat can get 3 wickets again. I think that was a bit of a shock to everybody. Never mind Delhi. I don't think many Rajasthan fans saw him getting 3 wickets this season. Again, I think you're right though. With if you win the toss, you probably want to bowl first. But it's been a very strange IPL. Like I said to you the other day, do you think they're going to keep scores of 140, 150? A day later, there's a couple of 200 scores or thereabouts. Yeah. So it will be tough to whoever has to set a target. I'm quite glad Sam Curran's played for CSK. Brings the average age down about 5 years. But it should be a really interesting game. I saw the stats that it was 52% chance Chennai of winning and 48% Rajasthan, so it should be a very close, gripping game. And I think Samson's going to outplay Dhoni today as well.
Yeah, this is quite interesting what you've just mentioned
But
here.
I have a question for him. That 50 to 48 chances of winning that you were talking about, that was before Ben Stokes' departure or after that?
Yeah,
it was yesterday.
Yeah, when Ben Stokes are already gone. I think it was quite nice. I mean, to be honest, all banter aside, that video was quite nice. I loved the touch that they gave for Ben Stokes, the T-shirt that they gave him. It was quite good to see that there is this camaraderie among players. I love how Ben Stokes, in spite of the fact that he knew he was going, stayed for a couple of days extra, just so that the team could be in that shape. He could actually, not have a farewell, but in the sense that he could, stick on with the team, give them the necessary guidance, and then move on rather than just moving on straight away. Which, to be fair, a lot of players would have done. So massive kudos to Ben.
Just to add to it, we have mega auctions next year, so this could very well be his farewell for RR.
It could, but they've written "See you soon, Ben." So I am assuming they're retaining him unless Ben Stokes wants to move out. That I don't think is going to happen.
I do have one more thing to say. I think David Miller will play over Livingston today. I think it's a fair crack to say he can do that.
I remember the last time was the first time ever I've seen Nathan defending a selection over Liam Livingston. Maybe for England, maybe for Rajasthan Royals. So that means David Miller has done something really, really commendable. I mean, if you get Nathan's respect for playing over Livingston, you've done something really good. Jen, coming to you as a neutral man, just like you and me, who absolutely have no emotional attachment to the game, but still to look at it, it's quite an interesting one because we saw the left arm pacers and the left arm brigade of Rajasthan Royals trouble quite some batters last time out. We know how good Chennai Super Kings are with their bowling as well, with Deepak Chahar, Sam Curran, Dwayne Bravo bowling well at the death. Ravindra Jadeja there as well. Shardul Thakur, who has this uncanny knack of picking multiple wickets in an over. So these are two, I think, good-looking bowling sides, you must say, and probably another day where you can just invite a little low scores.
So, firstly, it's not like there's no emotional touch to this game. Obviously, Thala is playing, so
yes,
we are a bit on his side, a bit towards Chennai's side. And then talking about both the bowling lineups, I think both the lineups are good. But like for Rajasthan, they have 3 left-arm pacers, so it's kind of a similar bowling setup. And then you have Chris Morris. So I don't think they'll make any changes there. Like they have Karthik Tyagi sitting on the bench. He was performing last season, but I don't think they'll take him back in the team right now. Also, in whose place? Like they won't leave him for Chetan Sakaria. He's doing good. Won't happen that. They might go for they might replace him with like for Mustafizur Rahman, but then they have to bring in they might bring Livingstone in the team, but I don't think it will be such a complex like Sanju Samson won't take such complex decisions at the starting of the tournament. And talking about Chennai, yes, great bowling lineup, so many all-rounders, like these guys bat till 11 and bowl like except 4 or 5 players, everyone's bowling there. But
Yeah.
on at Wankhede, I think whosoever is chasing has an advantage. The side which will be bowling second has a very big disadvantage. Even if it's Chennai's bowlers, even if it's Deepak Chair who has taken 3-4 wickets in the power play before, but I think if they're bowling second, there will be a very big disadvantage for them.
Due factor, man. Due factor. We saw it yesterday as well. That KL Rahul did talk about the fact that balls should be replaced. There were there were commentators who were saying balls should be replaced every other over. So I think there is definitely that. We'll take a few comments and then move on to Chennai Super Kings again. Whistle Pudu is what made us say CSK looked the better balanced outfit. Rohan says let Chennai win today because agla to harna hai. Next Chennai game is versus KKR. So he's already preparing for that as Rohan Gulati. Rohan is a KKR fan, Ryan. It depends on how the pitch behaves today. Mumbai is a mystery to me. Mumbai as a city is a mystery to a lot of people, mate. And the pitch is just it's just a small representation of the mystery that there is. Sanju Samson in 2018 average in the first 3 games 67, average for the rest of the tournament 16.4. Yes, there is worry there, and I think you can see that on Nathan's face when I read that comment. He kind of wanted to hide his face but couldn't because unfortunately there is reality there. The mega auction is what I was thinking of as well, says Kushagra. It could be a long goodbye if that farewell video. Doesn't look like though. I mean, any franchise won't be stupid enough to let go of Ben Stokes. But then we've
But the rule for the mega auction is you can retain only two overseas players at most. So they have Butler,
yes,
Archer, and Stokes. They'll have to pick any two out of these three.
this is quite an interesting choice, and I guess the players will be in better form going towards that
All three of
selection.
them are English.
All three of them in English. So Nathan's going to have one disappointment from Rajasthan Royals next year. So we will wait for that. We'll wait for that. Gonna change that this year is what he said to. I think this was the Sanju Samson comment. Nathan Barkley is
Yeah.
going to be. Is it going to be Butler's day today? Asked Manish. Manish, a fellow Rajasthan fan, so there are quite some good questions coming up. Ngidi is fit. Will he replace? Robbie is surely in. Ngidi might not replace anyone because it doesn't generally look like he has a
Look, when
place.
CSK lost the game, they did not make even a single change. Now that they have won
Yeah,
the previous game, I don't think they're going to make any changes at all. I mean, you could
definitely
have
not.
just looked at the way MS replied to Simon Doll's question at the toss. CSK
Yeah.
don't make changes, do they? He said, no, we don't.
Yeah, and MSS was spot on, right? He didn't use definitely not once again. There is something about his media work that is there to be admired for everyone. Which pitch will be used? Navjeevan, no idea, mate. You live in Mumbai, probably figure it out before everyone else does. It will be Archer and Morris, is what Manish has said. The two picks that you get, foreign picks, that is interesting. RR gave farewell gift to Stokes the other day. Zyada dard nahi hoga. Okay, he's saying there won't be much of pain now. Obviously, they'll go for Archer and Stokes. Butler is not consistent, is what Sheikh has said. That's interesting, but you can't play Butler at 4 and expect him to be consistent either. So that's for that. And coming to Ryan now, Ryan Moeen Ali is quite an interesting character because we saw him flying in and out of India during the India England series. We saw how good he was in the Test match in Chennai when you guys lost. Uh, Picked up by the Chennai Super Kings, batted at number 3, a position which has been a little concerning, or a little experimentation that's been done by England over the last few days. You saw Ben Stokes playing there. There is Joe Root who will definitely probably play there. But Moeen Ali, the way he's being used by MS Dhoni and the way Sam Curran is being used by MS Dhoni, just the way to send him up the order, get the best out of Sam Curran, get the best out of Moeen Ali's batting and bowling performances. Do you think there is something that could be looked at it with a bigger picture here? Because just the way these two guys are performing, they look like they are the star players in this team.
I think you hit the nail on the head there. I think the thing Dhoni is very good at is getting the best out of average players. And if you see Deepak Cheha last game, sorry if I didn't pronounce his name right, but I think he is an average bowler. He didn't have any sort of. I was quite surprised how he, didn't even play for India. He's got such amazing technique with his bowling, and I
Yeah.
think without any other captain, I can't see any other captain currently who can get the best out of average players apart from MSD. I think he's got the
Yeah.
skill to bring out and let the player be themselves. If I give it an example to Virat Kohli. Let's say a player doesn't bowl good a particular over, you can see the expression in Kohli's face. He's not happy. But if you see Dhoni, he lets a player play as and takes the pressure off them. So psychologically, a player goes into a match thinking, I can play, I can be myself. And I think Moeen Ali, Sam Curran have been given that opportunity to play their game and without any pressure. And obviously, Moeen Ali is a fantastic spin bowler and a good batsman as well. And I think he will need to kind of prove himself a lot more for CSK, especially with the T20 World Cup coming up. And then hopefully cement himself in England lineup as well.
Okay, I guess. See, with Moeen, I'm generally a big fan of him personally as well. I think he has the ability to, take the opposition on when required. There was this interview of Moeen that I also read that, just like Maxwell said about the RCB and the Kings and Punjab thing, even Moeen Ali said this, that he feels more at home. He feels like this is like more family environment. There's less intensity. So maybe there are certain players who enjoy certain styles and certain players who like it to be intense. And it seems like Moeen Ali is the kind of guy who anyway looks very cool and calm on the pitch, and it doesn't look like he's going to, out. There's not going to be an outburst from Moeen Ali anytime, and you can see that when he's batting here. There is that sense of clarity. There is a sense of calmness as well. I mean, coming to you, Jayan, just talking about this CSK team and what you might look at. Sam Curran at 6 is what potentially they're going to put in. They're going to put MS at 8, and there are concerns that people have had that MS Dhoni, is he just good enough to play as a specialist keeper batsman? I don't think they're going to be. I mean, I'm not going to put you on the spot here and ask you whether he's going to be good enough or not. But if there is any team that potentially MS Dhoni could push himself higher up the order, it is Rajasthan Royals, because MS Dhoni averages 138 against left arm seam in just 70 balls. He's only been dismissed once, and he has the strike rate. He has the highest strike rate of the ones who scored at least 100 runs or more against left arm seam in IPL history. So is there an option today that if we just go by the numbers previously, you might see MS just a little bit higher up the order?
Okay, so talking about MS Dhoni, I think he's so good that you can play him as a specialist captain only in the team. Not just a specialist keeper or batsman, just as a specialist captain. But there's a chance that he plays up the order because of his records, but I don't think so, because like everyone's batting there and MS Dhoni is taking his own time. Like the situations won't get that difficult. If it does, then he has to come in bat around at 6 or 7. But before that, I don't think he'll come to bat. He loves to play against Jaydev Unadkar. He has a great record, strike rate of over
Yes.
some 230, and he has smashed him all across the ground. But I don't think that MS Dhoni batting at 5 or 6 is happening in this game also. And there might be a chance that someone from the opening combination. There's a very less chance that they change the opening combination, but they can try Moeen Ali at the top also. If he's playing at number 3, he can play. He can open also. So that moves MS Dhoni one spot up, but that's very rare that CSK makes changes. So I
Yeah.
don't see that happening today.
Vipul, you think MS is going to change his opening press conference thoughts here? Probably say yes, we have made one change, Robin Uthappa.
No, I don't think so. I mean, you have to give a longer rope to Ruturaj Gaikwad.
Yeah.
He's won what 3 man of the match in 3 games last season, so he's definitely
Yeah.
got the quality. Yeah, he was struggling with his timing in the other game, but that's fine. That is something which I believe happens with every batsman. Just to add
Yeah.
to the batting position of MSD, I think right now he's best suited at number 7,
Yeah.
especially on this pitch where I
Could
guess
be
you
a
need.
number 8. Could be
Yeah,
number 8
maybe.
because
I
he's
mean,
having the
because
hitters.
if you look at people around him, there's Jadeja, Sam Curran, who are in tremendous hitting form. They can
Yeah.
finish games for you. It is no longer that you only have MST who's got the whole responsibility of finishing the innings. And also, I feel when you're batting in the middle order on a pitch like Wankhede, the problem is you need people who can carry the momentum of the innings. With MS, the problem is he'll take those 6-7 balls initially. That's fine, but after that, if he gets out and he's not able to convert it into a big innings, that is
Yeah.
when all of a sudden it looks very bad. You look at the scorecard, you look at the required rate in case you're batting second, and all of a sudden there's a lot more pressure on the lower middle order. So I mean, I personally I would love to see him up the order, but we need to accept what's in front of us. I guess he's also decided that as well. So probably he's going to bat at number 7. I mean, as I said, I would love to watch him up the order. I'm one of the biggest MSD fans you'll ever come across, but I guess it's also time that we accept the truth, because you need confidence and you also need a lot of match practice. Batting in the middle order in T20, it's not that easy.
Yeah. Nathan, coming to you with a little point on CSK, with all of these left arm seamers guys have got, you might potentially play Is Gopal, you might play Rahul Tewatia, Riyan Parag can bowl. I think all of these options have proved that they bowl, but then there is one guy named Suresh Raina who absolutely loves left arm seamers. He loves spinners that brings the ball in, and he is very capable of hitting the sixes and the fours. And we have seen in IPL history that he's only got 2 sixes more, and then he will reach 200 IPL sixes himself. So, are you genuinely worried about Suresh Raina? And if not just Raina, who are the other players that, as a Rajasthan Royals fan, you're looking out for in the CSK team? And you're potentially thinking maybe they don't perform today would be better for us.
Well, they back to number 9, really, with Bravo at 9. So, any number of players. The key to taking on CSK really is getting early wickets.
Yeah.
And I don't think you need to worry about them. You've got to go on what you think your best side is. I like Gopal in the team, but the swap for last game to bring in Wankhede for him was a genius move.
Yes.
I didn't say that at 15 minutes before start, but that proves why it was such a genius move. So I think we just need to concentrate on our strengths, get 2 wickets in the power play, or 3 if we can be a bit greedy, and keep the run rate in check then, and then just hope through the middle that we can keep it sensible and take the odd wicket. I'm a bit worried about Moeen Ali, actually. He looks like he's in great nick.
Yeah.
I've not seen any official stats, but from the games I remember, he's probably striking at about 150. And that's a pretty lethal one if he gets in, because it'll just go up and up and up. But again, just concentrate on our strengths, pick our best bowlers to the wicket, and back ourselves. I mean, the first 2 games, if you looked at the game at over 29, so obviously 9 overs into second innings, you wouldn't even bat an eyelid to even think about checking the scorecard. So we can trust ourselves to get ourselves back in the game. So that's why we don't need to worry too much on them.
Okay, there is optimism, as you can see with Nathan here. He's very optimistic of the Royals repeating the performance.
I was optimistic with England, so look where that got me.
Yeah, I mean that did definitely get you places. If you're talking about 2019 World Cup, not so sure about the store, but I think that's a debate for some another day. Coming to the Rajasthan Royals, Jayan, who are the players you're looking out for today? Because Chetan Sakaria, as we have been talking about, has massively impressed everyone. There is Jaydev Unadkar, who did turn up some brilliant memories back in the day, which he had at Rising Pune Supergiant. That was under MS Dhoni, by the way. And then obviously you have the likes of Riyan Parag, capable of turning it on at any moment. Josh Butler opening the batting. Let's not forget he can do some miraculous things batting up top. So what are you looking for today? I mean, a little more consistency from Samson would be the checkbox on my list.
I think that's a checkbox on every Rajasthan fan's one. I do think Butler's due an innings any time now. And when he's due an innings and gets one, I wouldn't want to be a CSK bowler at all. Just saying from experience of England.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, Jane.
Yeah, so of course, Butler's innings is due from some time, and looking forward to Chetan Sakaria for sure, the way he has played in the first 2 games, and Sanju Samson also, as the stats say, he plays well in the first 3 games. This is the 3rd game, so and in the second game he wasn't able to perform that well. So I think you might see a good knock today. But depends what time he's batting. Like if it's in the second innings chasing a big total, there are chances that he fails today. in the first game he was very good doing the same thing at the same stadium, but today I don't think so because of Chennai's bowling and the variety they have there,
Yeah,
and other players. I don't think Shivam Dubey will have a great game because the kind of form he is in, it's quite strange, and you you might see them replacing him in the next few games. Not in this game, I think so. He should get more chances. But like seen some of his practice videos, he's smashed some windows at the Cricket Club of India. But
yeah.
in the game, his hitting has not been that good. So expecting that it might change today and he plays a good knock. But other than that, all the players are doing good only. Rahul Tewatia, I think there's a innings. There's some sixes coming off his bat also. So waiting
Yeah,
for
he's
that.
due as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And Nathan, thank you once again for joining. I know you have to push off. So massive kudos to you. Your predictions for the game before you leave?
Well, I can't be here after it because I'm a bit busy after the game.
Yeah.
My prediction is we bowl first because we win the toss again because Thompson seems to be pretty good at that. You've clearly not been
Yeah.
listening to Coley. They get 165, 170. We'll be 70
Yeah.
for 4, and I'll be giving up after the 11th over, and then Morris to take us home.
Wow. I like the optimism here. Like Chris Morris to take you home for a second game running, that would be some feat. And that would be some repayment of all the money that they have spent on
Yeah.
him. 16.5 crores is quite some amount of money. And massive congratulations for Chris Morris rather for the last performance. And maybe I genuinely hope he plays well today because as he says, he's someone who's been brought into slog and he's going to do that. So really looking forward to that. Before we
Sorry,
come
guys,
on to
I've got to
Ryan,
shoot. I've got to shoot off as
okay,
well. So I was just took this call on my lunch break. So my
okay,
predictions for the
okay.
game, I would say the CSK win. That's what I'm saying. I don't know how, but we'll win it.
Oh yeah, CSK to win. I guess personally, I would prefer that as well. Thank you once again, Ryan, for joining. We hope to see you
Thank you very
soon.
much. Yeah, thank you very much, guys. See you later.
See you later. So yes, okay, yeah. So now we're going to talk about the rest of the things before we come. Like we'll take the comments first. Off context, I think he wanted to know what Nathan and Ryan's thoughts are on the ESL, that is the European Super League. I guess we'll talk about that Kushagra in a separate show. I've asked him for that really, and I think we'll work some details out before we can talk on that. Quite disappointing to be honest. If you guys haven't checked out the video, do check it out now. Vipul is going to struggle with us in the European Super League, with Manchester City also going to be a part of the European Super League. So Vipul, Manchester is definitely united against the entire concept of it. I'm pretty sure. But for the rest of it, do catch our
Barcelona.
video. Yes,
Barcelona also.
Barcelona as well. So yes, there are quite some fans here as well, and I think we will cover a few more videos regarding the European Super League, which is when we'll try to get in Ryan's thoughts as well. As you would have seen on his camera, he's a massive Liverpool fan. Nathan's a Preston fan. Preston have also released a statement opposing this because they are a championship club and they would genuinely get hit by this as well. But yes, I mean, Ara shift from his English base to South Africa. Who knows? I think if they put Miller and Morris in. RR win today. Nothing against CSK, but everything against Whipple is what Pranav says. Pranav has quite some
उसको
banter
ना
to give here.
वेडनेसडे का डर सता रहा है अभी से.
अभी से सता रहा है यार. Fair enough. Ara should consider Karthik Tyagi in place of Fizzy and Livingston in place of Manan Vora is what he's saying. I think it could be interesting. Nikhil, it would genuinely be an option. I think we'll discuss this as well. Chris Gales said age is just a number. Age is just a couple. There is still a couple of years left in me. My target is 45. This will turn 42, so there is still a long way to go. I would love that. I would love that if Chris Gale
Maybe
continues.
maybe he'll retire after the 23 World Cup in India.
Yeah, probably also try to win it as well. Who knows? Siddharth Rege says pulling out of the IPL and starting Thane Super League. What an entrance, Anurag. You came on to this comment.
And the other two teams in that Thane Super League will be Kalyan Kings and Dombivli Dashes.
Damn, I like that. I like that. Kushagra Dixit. Okay, Nathan says, I don't see us getting there anytime soon. I think he's talking about the ESL discussion. Therefore, couldn't care less. I think he's talking about Preston participating about in the European circuit, but They are currently in the championship. Probably will get Ryan's thoughts on pretty soon as well. Ryan says Deepak Chahar doesn't even play for India. I did not correct him. Yeah, I did not. But Deepak Chahar has played well for India. Deepak did play, and I think he did talk about his skill as well. So, you see, Deepak Chahar is quite a good player, and MS Dhoni has got quite some good out of him. So I guess you could give the benefit of the doubt to Ryan. Doesn't really follow much of Indian cricket as
Yeah,
well.
if we talk about Deepak Chahar, he is just so important for CSK because if he starts
Yeah,
well with the ball, then that whole bowling department looks different for CSK. That's how greater an impact he has had.
yeah. By the way, Deepak Chahar averaged 20 with the ball in 30 T20 international, has got 18 wickets. Yeah, there is no way, there is absolutely no reason why Deepak isn't a good player. He genuinely is, but I think as Indian fans, you probably do not know much about certain other players, and I think there was that to consider as well. Mahavir says CSK win. Yes, CSK do win. As Kushagra says as well, there's no need to get offended at that. I should have corrected him, is what the general opinion is by Amit. An opinion अलग हो सकता है. Okay. And Herrera has released a statement against the Super League. Yes, that's come out pretty good news. That I think good to see a former Man United player, a player who was supposedly to join the Super League, isn't going to do that because their club isn't going to do that. But coming back to cricket and coming back to Anurag Pisara wearing the blues today, do you expect the blues to outwit the yellows today, or are you actually wearing the blues to just support them because they might have the blues today?
I'm wearing blues for absolutely no reason at all because that's the first shirt I picked up. Coming to the game, I genuinely believe CS. See, I think we've said a lot of things in the past which have sort of turned upside down, and that is what we can genuinely expect from the IPL on a regular basis. And maybe our predictions are can be more spot on when once we enter the second half of the tournament, where we sort of have a very good idea as to where the team stands in this particular season. I think as it stands, it's still. I don't think Chennai and Rajasthan, as it stands, have a lot of differentiating factors for the good or bad
Yeah,
reasons. So I think both of them have a good amount of bad reasons to be sad about, and both of them
yeah,
have their own plus points. But I
yeah,
think for Rajasthan, the way they won the game last time around, I think I would love to believe that would add a lot of confidence for them. But
yeah.
again, Chennai dominated the game. Chennai absolutely
Yeah.
did against
To be
Punjab.
honest,
So
both teams did genuinely well the last time out. They absolutely. I mean, I would say both the teams dominated their matches.
in that sense, Rajasthan didn't bat that well. I mean,
Yeah,
at least the top order did collapse. Chennai didn't have much of a task. In whatever overs they chased it wasn't that much of a task. 107 runs on any day shouldn't be much of a task. Uh,
yeah,
what I would like to think right now is that Chennai Super Kings, maybe with its history and all of that, or maybe with the experience, not history, I would say, but just with the experience, maybe should have the upper hand. Yesterday we
yeah,
saw a good flat deck, typical Wankhede track where there were plenty of runs flowing. And
yeah,
again, even this has been one very difficult thing to predict this season. We never really
yeah.
know
Which pitch?
what we're going to witness on a particular day. So maybe that element of surprise should keep us fans on the edge. That's a good thing. I won't really be very bad about that. I won't be feeling sad about the fact that I what I predicted is not happening. It's fine. I mean, that's something that keeps all of us excited in the sport. So I don't know, man. I mean, it's tough to predict this, but if it is sort of a good batting deck, I think maybe Chennai. I mean, maybe Rajasthan will fancy themselves a little more because they have those outright hitters and match winners who can score like a 30 ball 70s, 75s
Yeah,
and all of that. So in the form of Sanju Samson, they have Miller in that who scored I think one of the fastest hundreds in IPL back in the day. So
yeah,
I think in that sense, Rajasthan have a little more firepower than Chennai Super Kings. I think a lot of us can agree upon that. Chennai have more of a batting lineup that is versatile, but I think their explosiveness is yet to be tested.
yeah.
So let's. I think only that's the only where maybe Rajasthan can be on top.
Especially, I guess, at the top of the order, Anurag, because when you talk about Ruturaj Gaikwad and Faf du Plessis, I think both of them haven't really got going. And from then, when I think when Moeen Ali and Suresh Raina have come on, then I think it's been Raidu and Sam Curran and Jadeja have been finishing innings off. I guess that's where that explosiveness has, started to come into their team. Maybe the openers are still being a little cautious, and if you look at Rajasthan, it's a little opposite in the other way around. You probably look at the likes of Butler or Ben Stokes, who played the first game. Manan Vora has not hit the floor running. But you look at the other batters as well. David Miller, who played a brilliant talk last time out. Chris Morris, Rian Parag, Rahul Tevatia. They've got quite some firepower there. And I think you rightly said maybe if it's a batting wicket, you would rather choose Rajasthan Royals over the Chennai Super Kings. But if it's a bowling wicket, Jen, you just look at the two bowling lineups and look at the versatility that both lineups have. And we talked about, Rajasthan Royals having quite some few left arm pacers. We talked about how their spinners would come into effect. We talked about Chennai Super Kings in the same way, how they have 6 to 7 different bowling options. And, if anyone has a bad day, they have other who's actually good to replace them. So if it just came on to bowling, who would you prefer?
See if it's coming on to bowling, then definitely Chennai because of the different types of bowlers that they have. As I said before, for Rajasthan, like they have three left arm seamers, and all are quite similar. With Mustafizur bowling those cutters, that's a different option. But comparing both the lineups, I think Chennai might have an upper hand if just talking about the bowling lineups of the team.
Fair enough. I think Chennai do have an upper hand, and Chennai Super Kings did play genuinely well with the ball. Deepak Chahar once again was instrumental last time. Anurag, there's a question for you. Should RR go batting heavy and play Levo, or for the balance play Fizz?
Just a second. I'll have to read that again. Should RR
Yeah.
go batting heavy on play Liverpool?
It's Liam
I
Livingston or
see.
Mustafizur.
I get that. I think I would still prefer, as it stands, I would still prefer Mustafizur because, see, Mustafizur is not one of your ordinary bowlers. He sort of provides something different with those cutters, and Chennai Super Kings do have a lot of right-handers. So, if something we've seen this season is that the left arm bowlers have proven to be a little more tough to crack when the pitch is even slightly on the slower side. So,
But
and
Yeah.
this
but
is where,
but
yeah.
they also have Moeen Ali, Raina, Jadeja, Sam Curran. So that is basically
Oh,
four
yeah.
left-handers in the top seven.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, maybe just negating the left-right combination aside, uh, I would still go with Mustafizur in the playing 11 because I think he just for a fact reiterating the fact that he's a slightly unique bowler in that sense with those cutters. He bowls those cutters at a pace which not a lot of bowlers do. I mean, when a lot of other bowlers opt for cutters, they sort of you, you know generally compromise with their pace. Mustafizur over the years has trained himself to bowl those cutters at 125s, 130s, which is a little more difficult to
Yeah.
play. So maybe for that reason, I would still go with Fizz, even if it is a flat batting deck. I think that's where maybe while trying to counter him or while trying to sort of take on against him, you could still expect some wickets. So yeah, I think Nathan, I get I get why you would love to see a Livingstone in the team, but I think he'll have to wait a little while.
We could potentially wait a while. As Amit says, Fish should play. He looked great in the last match. He genuinely did. यार मेरे को first of all मेरे को यही समझ में नहीं आया how he was bowling that back of the hand slow ball. It looked like Mutaya Muralidharan in fast motion, and it was genuinely difficult to spot. And massive
As I
kudos to
told
him.
you guys earlier, he's been trained by Baba Ramdev.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, fair
Okay.
enough. He might have, he might have. I think this is what Amit adds as well. He bowls a cutter in the pace of 130s. That's a unique trait to have. Why the hell won't you use it? Ah, yeah,
Or
it's
maybe
very difficult.
we can just rename his bowling style as left arm Ramdev medium or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Vip, Vipul, to be honest, the joke which you made, rock bottom, was really nice, but I think I'm not a big fan of this one. बट ओके विपुल पीजे बहुत हो रहा करके भी कमेंट आ गया ऑलरेडी सो विपुल is having backlash on and off the screen as well, but we'll move on to the next segment a little bit before we come on to the match predictions, the fantasy picks,
Yeah.
and Gonna go with the current man who seems to be winning everything else. So, Sumit, coming to you, 3 wins out of 3. So I'm hoping that you give some positive predictions for people in this game. Who are your captaincy and vice captaincy picks?
My captaincy pick is gonna be Faf du Plessis. I think we saw some glimpse of form coming to Faf du Plessis eventually. I think he'll do much better, especially if Mumbai is gonna provide that kind of a deck that it provided yesterday. Faf is more
Yeah,
suited to it. So my prediction as captain will be Faf du Plessis. Vice captain would be Josh Butler. A big innings is due from him. We have seen him do that, but not quite get those high scores. So Josh Butler could be that vice captain that we all are looking at. And a differential pick, if I have to choose, is I would give two choices. One, if we have to choose from the Rajasthan Royals, then someone like a Rian Parag is gonna come into picture, wherein probably he might be pushed a little ahead in the order as well, even before Shivam Dubey for that matter. So there is a high chance Rian Parag, even with his round arm or rock bottom as Vipul calls it, it'll be he'll be a good asset to have in the team.
Yeah.
And one from Chennai Super Kings, if I need to pick, then I'll go with Moeen Ali. I don't think it's a differential pick anymore, given that those kind of performances that he's given. But Moeen Ali should make any fantasy team for for this game.
so who makes the differential pick then, Sumit?
No one.
From Chennai probably no one. I just one from Rajasthan, that is Rian Parag. But from
Yeah,
Chennai I just realized that you only have a set of players to choose from. So
yeah,
like you wouldn't want to go with MS Dhoni. Dwayne Bravo will be underutilized. Ruturaj Gaikwad is too dicey to be playing. So probably
yeah,
you have not a lot of players to choose from. Have a fixed pool of 6, 7, and out of that
yeah.
we'll probably go with 5, 6 of your choice and budget. So accordingly.
Yeah, so I guess differential picks coming from Rajasthan Royals, that's the first tip we've got out of Sumit here today. So do keep that in mind when you select your fantasy teams. Coming to you, Jayan, कहाँ पे points मिलेंगे, कहाँ पे options है for people to earn money, for people in states who can't earn money because of the game, what is their option to, have that extra bit of edge over their friend and say, I beat you?
Talking about options for the captaincy, I think Moeen Ali should be a great option because जिस तरीके के
Yeah.
फॉर्म में मोइन अली है, he has been scoring runs and at a very good strike rate. Also, he's playing great attacking cricket at the moment, and
Yeah,
also they have David Miller, they have Shivam Dubey. So at that time, Moeen Ali could be great with his bowling also, troubling the left-handers. So for the captaincy pick, it's Moeen Ali. Then for the vice captaincy pick, I'm also going with Josh Butler because I think that one innings is due. And Wankhede's pitch, Wankhede's ground could be the perfect setup for Josh Butler to score
yeah,
some 60, 70 odd runs that he does. Like if he scores, वहां तक तो वो ले ही जाएगा at least some 6, 7 sixes, and that would be great for the fans to watch also. And talking about a differential pick, like Sumit said, from Chennai, it's quite difficult, बहुत ज़्यादा difficult है. बिकॉज कुछ ही प्लेयर्स है जिनमें से आपको फैंटेसी टीम बनानी है. एंड अगर एकदम ही डिफरेंशियल पिक लेना है तो यू कैन चूज ड्वेन ब्रावो. क्या पता जैसे रसल ने डेथ ओवर्स में फाइफर लिया था, ब्रावो के कटर्स भी कुछ कर दें, बट आई वोंट
yeah,
गो विद दैट. एंड फ्रॉम द राजस्थान टीम आई थिंक सो चेतन साकरिया can be a good pick. He can
yeah,
take wickets up front and also at the end or in the middle. Whenever he comes to bowl, there is that different
yeah,
sort of energy or there's a different sort of hype there,
yeah,
and we have that sort of confidence on his bowling. So
yeah.
these are my picks. Yeah, these are my picks.
Yeah, I mean, massive kudos to Chetan Sakaria as well because on day one, we could have been a differential pick. Now has become almost a certainty into many of the fantasy teams, which tells everyone how good he's performed over the last few days as well. Anurag, I will come to you now. I think
Yeah.
Amit has also given his picks for us today. Captain Moeen Ali, Vice Captain Kilo Miller. By the way, Miller against CSK averages 41, strike rate of 141. So David Miller has some quite good history here. Kabir is talking about the most wanted player. So give me your fantasy picks today. Who could be your differentials, and would you put David Miller in your team as a captain today?
Not David Miller, but I am going with Josh Butler for captaincy in this one. And for some reason, I have a good feeling about Rajasthan Royals today, so I'm going to go with both players from Rajasthan Royals for the captaincy and vice captaincy. And the second pick maybe not a popular choice, but I would suggest people to take a gamble with it. Why not try Chetan Sakaria as a vice captain, because he has been getting wickets, and if
Yeah,
even if he's picking up two wickets, it's 50 points plus
yeah,
whatever the points he gets just to be appearing in the 11 and all of that. So you are almost promised of close to 80 points if you're uh, putting him as a vice captain, which is fairly decent. So I think,
yeah,
and this is what I've been trying to do in the last few days: put the most weirdest of choices for vice captaincy. It has worked on occasions. It has worked with
yeah,
Mujibur Rahman, but it did not
yeah.
work yesterday. I think yesterday I went with. I can't. I think I went with Rahul Tripathi as a vice captain choice, I guess, which sort of backfired. But yeah, just take a gamble, because if you really want to win competitions, I mean, yeah, a popular picks though, especially in a lot of these games. I mean, yesterday, how many people would have put AB de Villiers as captain? A lot of them. How many people would have put Glenn Maxwell as captain? A lot of them. So these are all
Yeah.
popular picks. Just I think vice captain is one area where you can just sort of have a little bit of experimentation, so that if it
Yeah.
works, it really definitely differentiates you with the rest of the competitors. So why not?
Also, Vijay Shankar Anurag, if you remember, he gave quite some
Yeah,
good returns as well with the bat and ball. So
yeah,
Anurag
he did.
definitely, probably for us, is our master of differential picks, and we're going to definitely refer to him as that. But Vipul, CSK fan, you must be probably thinking कि यार जो भी 7 का लिमिट है, शायद हम CSK पे ही exhaust कर ले. But who are the other players that you're generally looking out for today, which they might probably think that could be their captaincy or vice captaincy picks?
I guess Miller will probably be the most popular pick for the captaincy position because I think he's been in really good form, be it the ODI series against Pakistan, and then he started really well in the IPL. Yeah, maybe he'll also enjoy the medium pace that CSK have to offer, and
Yeah.
yeah, I mean he struggles a little against leg spin. Actually, not a little, quite a lot, but he enjoys against finger spin. So Miller,
Yeah.
maybe he can have a good game. Vice captain has to be Moeen Ali because he's been in really good form with the bat, and of course can pick a wicket or two. Differentiator, I think I'll go with Lord Shardul. Because you see the problem with Lord Shardul is he's been fighting on two fronts. You know, he's
Yeah.
fighting for purple cap as well as orange cap. So in one game he'll concede runs to make sure he's in the race for orange cap. In another game he'll take wickets. So I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, he his economy rate is always a problem. But the thing with Shardul is, you know, you might get 2-3 wickets all of a sudden. So he can be a very good differentiator.
Fair enough, Ruturaj.
Fair enough.
Shardul Thakur is quite a differentiator, even if he does give away some runs. I think we've talked about this that he does bowl those kind of lines which will give you wickets and also those edges that fly off, or if the batsman connects well, it could genuinely be their day as well. So
And
he's
also, just to be fair to him, you know, if you also look at those overs that he bowls, he generally comes in to
yes,
bowl the sixth over, which is the last one of the power play. The batters
power
are
play.
looking to go hard at you. Then he'll
Yeah,
probably bowl two in the last 4 or 5. So basically, three out of his 4 overs that are in his quota are difficult overs. So obviously,
yeah.
economy rate is going to be high.
Those 3 overs are where batsmen are targeting 40 runs, to be honest, out of those 3 overs. So it's extremely difficult with someone like Shardul to actually, produce the kind of quality that is expected out of him. So these are our fantasy picks. For me personally, I would probably pick Suresh Raina as vice captain today. I have a nagging feeling there's another innings today coming from Suresh Raina, and for my captaincy
Yep.
pick, a little broke between David Miller and Joss Butler. I think a lot will depend on who bats first. So maybe you look at the toss. If Rajasthan batting first, definitely going in for Joss Butler as a captaincy pick today. So that's my opinion on it. Coming to you now, Sumed. We're just gonna wrap up now. Take the
Just
final
to
call.
just to
Yeah,
add to your point, I think having Raina as a captain is actually a good choice because if we look at that Rajasthan bowling lineup, if they tend to go with that same bowling lineup, then apart from Morris, I don't really see anybody else who can trouble him with the short ball because rest of them
exactly.
are medium paces. So I think yeah, Raina has a good chance of performing tonight.
Also,
And
Raina
all the
likes that
others are
left armers angle.
left-handers, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the left arm angle, he likes that. And with Tewatia, I mean, again, it's not being a cliche, but with Tewatia and Riyan Parag bringing the ball into him, Raina prefers that. And even if he doesn't, he plays the inside out shot pretty well. So those googlies are also something that he could tackle. Sumit, coming to you, I know I haven't really talked to you about this game. So, anything that you're generally looking forward to in this game, and what could be your predictions?
The one thing I was looking forward to is, as I said in the picks as well, that Faf du Plessis innings. I think he showed some glimpse of form, and I genuinely hope he comes into his own today, because that is something that even Chennai will need at the top. Not always are your bowlers going to do the trick for you. There has to be times when the batsmen need to step up, and
Yeah,
if there's anyone other than Suresh Raina who looks to be more in control, along with yes, Moeen Ali is there as with the role of the hitter at number 3. But if there is anyone who needs to step up right now, is Faf du Plessis. So probably that is the one thing I'm looking at, and I would be interested to see if Dhoni makes any changes to the lineup. I was
yeah,
actually gonna say that I was actually gonna say probably Imran Tahir could get a go, but then I realized there are more number of left-handers in the Rajasthan setup. Probably even
yeah.
with Yashasvi Jaiswal coming in place of Manan Vora, so I'm not gonna go with it. But that would be one interesting thing. Maybe Lungi and Gidi in place of Wayne Bravo, but that is still not. I don't see it
Yeah.
happening anytime sooner. So I it's fine. Both of them have found the balanced level. I feel it's not the point of who should be playing and who should be sitting out, or the point of discussing the balances between the two sides. It's about who on that day will be the better team. And if we could continue on the yesterday's spree of getting more and more high scoring runs, then there would be nothing like it to see these two teams make the 200s and the 220s. Overall, if there was a prediction to be made, I think I'll go with Rajasthan Royals in this case, just for the firepower and the form that their players are in, and probably on paper as well, they are a little more heavy as compared to the Chennai Super Kings.
Okay, that's quite an interesting viewpoint. Rajasthan Royals definitely have the firepower, and we could potentially see them winning today as well. Jayan, you agree with that opinion, or you're gonna go towards CSK today?
I'm going towards CSK. I'm going with the experience, and I think okay, Vipul is a big CSK supporter. I know now.
Validation, validation.
Validation, yeah, validation, correct. But yeah, I'm going with CSK, and obviously, looking forward to a situation where Mahendra Singh Dhoni comes out to bat and wins it for CSK. I know that will be
Yeah,
very
man.
complex, but yeah, looking forward
That's
to
like
that.
6 wickets down already.
Yes,
Yeah,
that is 6 wickets down. Yeah,
but then Mahi winning from there is what we want to see. So
yeah.
haven't seen it for quite some time now, so that's why. And
अब से ये
also,
बंदा मुझे हर सीएसके के लाइफ पे चाहिए.
okay.
And
Uh,
अरे विपुल, द
uh,
पॉइंट इज हमको तू भी हर सीएसके पे लाइफ पे चाहिए, लेकिन जब सीएसके हारती है, वी डिड नॉट सी यू लास्ट टाइम मैन.
देखो, just like MS is never there for the press conference after an IPL game, I am also not there anytime for the post match life. स्पेशली अगर सीएसके का गेम है तो चाहे हारे चाहे जीते, मैं कभी नहीं आता.
Anurag's reaction is as stunned could be. I mean, just the references, just the. I mean, let's go to that. Anurag, क्या
just
क्या?
the extents to which people sometimes go
Yeah.
to just put their name next to Dhoni.
But
चलो
yeah,
कोई
I
बात
mean,
नहीं. Yeah.
Anurag, your prediction as well. Are you going for CSK or just going to change it for the fact that Vipul has made such a statement now?
No, I think see again, as I said, this is a very tough game to predict because
Yeah,
uh, you could say any name and you'd not be surprised if your prediction goes wrong. So
yeah,
it's just one of those games where it's quite even Stevens, and it's good to see. I mean, whenever Chennai and Rajasthan play, there's always a little bit of nostalgia attached to this clash as well,
yeah,
because obviously the first ever final that we saw was between these two sides. Uh,
yeah,
so I don't know. I sort of have a feeling Rajasthan maybe can edge this one if
yeah,
this is going to be one kind of a run fest like yesterday. Because as I mentioned before, and as Sumedh just did, I think it's that ability in their team to maybe score runs a little more quickly. It's not that Chennai are not capable of it, but they might not do it as frequently or as fluidly as Rajasthan would. So I think that is one area where I think Rajasthan maybe have that just 1-2% edge over Chennai. But again, if that is not the case, if it's turning out to be one of those 140, 150 class, I think it's straightforward Chennai.
Yeah, I guess this is what you associate a little bit on. I mean, your team as well, right, Anurag? When it's a low scoring contest, you probably give them that edge because they have the kind of bowlers. And with CSK as well, you know if there is a low scoring encounter, if the pitch is assisting the bowlers, they can create quite some havoc. And you saw Deepak Chahar do that last time as well. So we have probably a Rajasthan edge. We have a Rajasthan Royals predicting with Sumit. We have a CSK prediction by Jayan, and I'm pretty sure Vipul's gonna go CSK as well. Toss
Uh,
jeetna hai, obviously another one of
yes,
them.
it's not at all difficult to predict. If it's a flat pitch like yesterday, जो टॉस जीतेगा वो मैच जीतेगा, तो टॉस जीतना है. But yeah, I mean, on a serious note, I feel when you're bowling second on that pitch, doesn't matter whatever
Yeah.
bowlers you have, unless you have five bowlers called Lasith Malinga and all five of them are in their prime, you're not going to defend anything on that surface. So yeah, I guess वही टॉस जीतना है और फिर मैच जीतना है. Yeah, if it's a 150 160 kind of contest, then straight away CSK without doubt.
Absolutely. Again, I have the responsibility of being the tiebreaker yet again for some reason, and I'm going to leave the tiebreaker to the tiebreaker. My prediction is a super over for today, extended session as Navjeevan loves it. So, looking
Wow.
forward to the first ever tiebreaker of this IPL 2021. Having said that, I still feel my heart slightly slides towards MS Dhoni and Chennai because, indeed, there is Tala there. So, who
सुपर
cannot.
ओवर भाई, सुपर ओवर बोल के मैच इतना लंबा मत करो. सीएसके को परसों फिर से आना है केकेआर के अगेंस्ट खेलने के लिए.
Exactly.
मुझे
That is
उस
this.
बात की पड़ी है. मुझे आई एम वंडरिंग इफ इट रियली इज अ सुपर ओवर. हमारा लाइव 12 बजे स्टार्ट होगा. That's the only thing. That's the only reason I don't wish to see even a single super over this season.
Yeah, but Vipul doesn't come na post match. So Vipul is like chill hai, koi baat
Vipul
nahi.
doesn't give a. I mean, he doesn't give a
Yeah.
crap. It could be two super overs. He doesn't care at all.
I do not attend press conferences after the game. I find them absolutely irrelevant. That's it.
Having said that, Vipul, if you do attend
Right.
one, you could possibly get a chance to do that MS Dhoni thing to that Australian reporter. So try attending for
हाँ
once
नहीं,
if you want to.
अगर सीएसके ने केकेआर को हराया परसों तो रोहन भाई के साथ वो करूंगा ना, डोंट वरी.
Ooh.
There is already a warning here, so you started with quite some fresh banter once again today. So yes, it is going to be CSK versus Rajasthan Royals. Quite an interesting game at the offer at the Wankhede Stadium once again. A pitch where you don't know what's going to happen, so predictions kind of become irrelevant at this point of time. But yes, here we are. There are two Rajasthan and two CSK, so CSK supporting decisions and a super over decision for me. Super over में क्या होता है? I don't care. I just want to see two bowlers bowl really well, concede less than 6 runs, and make it happen once again. So it could be quite some fun. And having said that, do check out all our videos because they are some fun as
And
well.
just in case, let's hope there is a super over. तो वो दो bowlers कौन होंगे सीएसके और राजस्थान के साइड से?
Oh man, I guess I'm going to settle the discussion because I don't think anybody else is interested in a super over. I guess with CSK you go for bit tough, but I would rather say go for Dwayne Bravo. And if you're Rajasthan Royals, do you have a choice? Chetan Sakare.
Morris. Oh, I thought Morris could be a choice.
Morris could be, but I feel Chetan Sakare is in a better frame of mind. Okay, just anyone else who having any other choice here
I
for
was thinking
Rajasthan Royals?
about Mustafizur Rahman with the cutters.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, good choice as well. Anurag, do you have your super over picks?
Yeah, पहले बात ही क्यों कर रहे super over?
Vipul brought it up
It's
once again.
it depends upon how the thinking goes. Sometimes in the heat of the moment, अभी इधर बैठ के बोलना आसान है कि we should go with him or that person.
Yeah,
But in the heat of the moment, sometimes the stature of the player or the price tag of the player in IPL scenarios, sometimes they sort of take the uh, bulk of your thinking ability. So that's when
yeah,
maybe I think Morris will be given. You never know.
yeah, yeah.
And अरे इतना पे कर रहे तो super over it डालना. So it's one of those things that could happen. I mean, I know I put it in a slightly more derogatory way, but
Yeah.
that can genuinely happen. So let's
I
see.
hope
All
Then
really.
after the game, Morris will have a conference where he'll say, "Some are paid to bowl in the game, and some are paid to bowl in the super overs. I know what I'm paid for."
exactly. Great
That
segue
could
to
be.
Flash. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
would be, yes, that is a great segue to finish. Having said that, just like this ending was fun, we have done a video today, one more video that was about the European Super League and its existence. A lot more videos about the ESL will also come up because it's quite a hot and trending topic and has put
Yeah.
quite of all our I think collective loyalties into question now. Who should we start supporting maybe? But quite some interesting happenings in the world of football, and as well with the IPL, you always have the India Ka Tyohar producing fantastic moments, so we will be there with that as well. Do stay tuned to our mid innings live that happens somewhere around 9 to 9:15, and our post match live, if the super over does happen, will be around 12 o'clock. Otherwise, we'll be back live around 11:15 or 11:30, like we usually do. And until then, we will see you soon. Bye bye.